Hi everyone, my name is Tuto Coco, and in today's tutorial, we want to solve a question. And the question says that we should find the equation of the tangent, and normal to the curve y is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2 at the point 3, comma 2. Now, how do we find equation of tangent and equation of normal? This is very, very simple. Of course, when you talk about a curve, let me just assume this is my curve on my xy plane, right? This is my x-axis, my y-axis, and this is my what? X-axis. So at a point on the curve, if I draw a tangent, this line that I draw is called a what? A tangent. Now, at the point where the tangent line meets the curve, you have what we call what there? Tangent. So this line here is at tangent to this curve at this point. Let me call it point A. Now, this line here, it has an equation, and that's what they want us to look at. It's a straight line equation. Of course, for any line, it must have its own what? Gradient. So I'm going to find the gradient of this line. Right. Now, let me also show you how the normal is. A normal is another straight line that is perpendicular to the tangent at the point where the tangent touches the curve. So I'll draw a straight line like this, and this straight line is called what? Normal. So you must be able to differentiate between a tangent line and a what? Normal line. So this normal line too have its own what? Tangent. Gradient rather. Let's call it gradient what? M2. So now for us to calculate or find the equation of tangent and the equation of normal, the first thing you need to know is that you need to find the gradient of the tangent as well as the gradient of the normal. So I will start by calculating the what? The gradient of the what? Tangent. So what is the curve? The curve is y equal to x squared minus 3x plus 2. Now, the gradient of the tangent is the derivative of this function here, of the curve here. That is, when I differentiate y, I will differentiate y with respect to x. It will give me the gradient function of the tangent. Of course, how do we differentiate? You have x raised to power 2. So you bring 2 here, it becomes what? 2x. Then you subtract 1 from 2, that's what? 1. So if I differentiate x squared, I'll get what? 2x minus. If I differentiate 3x, power of x here is what? 1. I will multiply by 3, that's what? 3. Subtract 1 here, that's what? X raised to power 0. Of course, x raised to power 0 is what? 1. I will multiply it by 3, and that's what? 3. So when you differentiate a constant, you get what? 0. So that means that the gradient function here of the tangent, this is the gradient function of the what? Tangent. Gradient of tangent. So now, that is step 1. You first find the gradient of the what? Of the tangent. Alright, so what is the next step now? The next step is if you check the question, you have been given point what? I've been given point 3 and what? 2. Alright, this 3 here, it represents x1, and the 2 here represents what? Y1. So these are the 3 things you need. You need the gradient of the tangent, that is m1. They have given us the points in the question already, so you don't need to calculate or look for any other thing. Now, how do we what is now the formula to calculate what? The equation of a tangent? Of course, when I have 1 point and gradient, how do I calculate the equation of the line? If you are given 1 point and gradient, the equation of the line is y minus y1 is equal to gradient into x minus what? X1. Of course, I'm dealing with the tangent first, so I'll put 1 here. So what I need to do is I'll write y minus. So y1 is what? 2. I'll put 2. I'll replace it as y1. Is equal to gradient of the tangent. What do we get? Okay, you need to first calculate the gradient of the tangent at what? X is equal to 3. Right, so I still need to calculate gradient of the tangent at what? S equal 3. So since I have dy dx is equal to, I have 2. Now instead of me to write x, I'll substitute what? 3 as what? X minus 3. So 2 times 3 will give me 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is what? 3. It means that the gradient of the tangent is 3. So instead of me to write m1 here, I'll change it to what? 3 into x minus. So what is x1? That's what? 3. Right, so I'll solve it. It becomes y minus 2 equals to, remove the bracket, 3 times x, 3x minus 3 times 9, 3 times 3, that is 9. So I'll rearrange. I have y minus 3x equal minus 9, then transpose minus 2, it becomes what? Plus 2. So y minus 3x equals minus 9 plus 2 give us what? Minus 7. This is what we call equation of the tangent. So I've gotten the equation of what? Tangent. Of course, the next thing is to find the equation of the normal. All right, drop the answer in the comment section how to find the equation of the normal. Bye.